Good morning, everybody. Jayy here with another War of the Visions video, and today is the video so many people have been waiting for. This is the Tidus preview video, the unit we are getting hooked up with in about, 3 days now? So that's pretty hype. 2 days. Don't let me take that extra day away from you, y'all. 2 days we're getting this Tidus. So we're going to go over his skills, stats, builds, all that stuff, and we're going to talk about if it's worth building him and how you should use him. So that's coming up right now. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about today is stats on Tidus, and we're going to do the thing where we compare his level 99 stats that you see on the left to his level 120 stats that you see on the right. Now, before I get into that a lot, I want to point out a mistake that I made in both the Auronnj and Yuna videos, and that's when I was on the calculator. I'm used to the calculator doing a lot of the work for me. I'll put it like that. When I unleveled Auronnj and Yuna from 120 to 99, the calculator did not automatically drop their job level back to 15. It kept their main job at level 25. And so on those previous videos, their level 99 stats actually looked higher than they really are. I got that right this time, so we're going to see an accurate comparison of 99 Tidus to 120. So my bad on the other videos. I posted a little pinned comment, kind of amending that. But if you want to play with builds and levels and stuff, go over to warofvisions.calc. I link that kind of on the bottom of the screen here, and you can mess with whatever levels you want to see. For this video, we're going to stick with 99 to 120. Okay, there's the stats. You can see taking him those last 21 levels is going to get him an extra 783 HP, which is a lot. 154 attack, again a lot, 5 TP, 20 magic, 2 more starting AP with 6 more max, 35 dex, and 44 luck. Those are very significant stat gains, and those make more sense to me when you're talking about the 400 Mind Sphere investment that it takes, which is essentially just shards, right, to get from 99 to 120. So, there you have it. Now, when we're looking at Tidus's 120 stats, who do we really compare him to based on what kind of roles he's going to fill? So what I decided to do for this is compare him to Agrius, who we have right now, who's a level 99 unit, and Auronnj, who is a level 120, or at least a potential 120 level unit. And so those are Auronnj's level 120 stats on the screen and level 99 Agrius. So how does Tidus compare? Well, let's look at HP. He has about 400 more HP than Agrius, so that's big time thanks to his EX jobs. And he's a little south of Auronnj. Auronnj's at 3857, Tidus is at 3643. His attack, however, is very, very high. You can see he has more attack than even Auronnj. And then look at his agility. 67 base agility is a speedy boy. So Tidus is going to be zipping around. And speed is definitely one of Tidus's things. If you get this unit, which we're all getting, and you level him and use him, you'll notice that speed's a strength of his. Also, his dexterity and luck are very high. And having more base agility than Agrius is a big time metric for you're going to be a fast unit. So I like to see that a lot. He's a 3-1 move jump. He has 6 defense, 0 spirit. So I'd like to see those numbers a little higher for him. He does get the 20 resist to fire. So I like that. He actually gets that elemental resist, same as Auronnj gets it to wind. He is a little bit weak to lightning, which there's plenty of. His slash resist is 10, that's on par with Auronnj and pretty close to what Agrius is. His fist resist, his punching, is 5. His missile resist is 10. He does not have any piercing resist, positive or negative, and he's a little bit weak to magic. So right there, Tidus ain't going to be your magic tank. He's not going to fill that role for you, I don't think. There's ways to boost that, of course, but that negative 10 is going to just kind of suck to overcome, and he doesn't have any base spirit. So if I had to say based on this, he is going to be pretty tanky, he's going to do a lot of damage, and he's going to be fast. So he's kind of in between the two characters we have here, because I would call Auronnj more of a true damage dealer, although Tidus might be able to do that really well, you guys. Let's go look at his skills next, and see just kind of how he's going to play out. What role is he going to fit, and how's he going to fit it? Okay, I do want to point out his TMR first. Tidus's shoes, I have no idea if that's what that actually says, but there's the picture. It looks like his shoes to me. They are an accessory that gives 7 defense, 283 HP, 5 agility, so it's another agility TMR accessory. Awesome. If this is your first one of those, these are game-changing accessories. That speed is important. And then it has a skill on it that's very important to Tidus specifically, and that's increases critical hit rate by 30 for 3 turns and increases critical damage by 30 for 3 turns. There is a definite Tidus critical hit build that exists that might be his highest damage build, and maybe this TMR would be good for that. I don't know. I need to kind of see how his AI works, and we need to look at the rest of his abilities first. So I would hesitate on leveling this right away, but it is good. It is a good TMR to get just for that agility, especially if you don't have agility TMRs. His master ability is the thing we're coming to expect: HP plus 10% for water attackers, water attack plus 15 for water allies, and then he gets 20 defense pin. Very, very good master ability. 20 defense pin is phenomenal. He just gets that. That's awesome. Okay, his support abilities. Tidus has good support abilities. So we'll just start with that. He has an ability that increases his agility by 12% and his critical hit rate by 20 for himself. It's a really good buff. I don't know if you're going to run it all the time, because I don't know if you're going for the critical build all the time, but more crits are always good, and agility is almost always good too, especially on a unit that if you're having him tank that you want to move forward. The problem is the rest of his abilities are good too, so it's kind of pick your, I would say pick your poison, but that usually implies negative things. It's like pick your good thing, whatever. Okay, let's look at his next one. He's got the Paladin support ability that is defense plus 12 and HP plus 12%. Really good, especially if you want him to be your like physical tank. You're probably going to want to run that. Then his next one, increase attack by 24% and increase his critical damage by 20. So there's more of that crit stuff we're talking about. He's not only going to crit more than most units, he's going to crit harder than most units. Really interesting. Let's go to his Samurai support ability real quick. It increases his attack by 25%, increases his evasion by 12, and decreases his defense by 3. That's probably the one you don't run. I don't know that like evasion Tidus is really going to be a thing. Probably will be a thing. Like some people will do it, but I think he's either going to be like a big time damage dealer for you, or your tank, or some kind of hybrid bruiser of those two things. So some mix of those first 3 support abilities seem really, really good to me. Yeah, like this dude's kit is great. Let's continue. His main job and his counter moves. Let's look at his counter moves first, just cover that. He has a 50% chance to inflict Berserk on himself. Probably don't want that one. He has a 20% chance to reduce physical damage taken by 45%. That's probably your one. This is another example of Tidus being a good physical tank or bruiser for you. And then he has a counterattack that increases his evasion rate by 10 for 3 turns. You're probably staying away from that one too. I really like the 20% chance to reduce physical damage by 45. That's, I think, the money one for Tidus's counter moves. Okay, main job. You guys, these skills are great and unique. Like, they're good and cool, which is a really cool combination. I need to expand my vocabulary. But it's a really neat combination. So his first move is 6 uses, only costs 14 AP, and when it's upgraded, it only costs 10 AP. Super cheap. It is 121% damage and is a guaranteed crit after the upgrade. So if you're going crit Tidus, this is his like auto attack replace, except it's big range and he can use it a lot for cheap. You could essentially make a Tidus that just walks out there and is like ranged crit Tidus. Really cool move. He has a buff that is an AoE buff that he does not have to cast on himself. He can range it a little bit. A 40% attack buff for allies for 3 turns, and a 15 defense buff for 3 turns for allies. That is a good buff. Okay, he has another buff that's really good, which is Hastiga, and it's a 42% haste for 3 turns for allies, and he has to cast that on himself, and then it like spreads out, you know, in that little AoE. He has 2 uses of that, cost 34 TP, so that'll be a really good AP generating move for him, and Hastiga is a dang good spell. Alright, next. He has 175% damage attack with a 50% chance to inflict slow when performing a critical hit. So this is probably one of those moves that you're going to definitely run if you're running crit Tidus, and you probably turn off if you're not running crit Tidus. Okay, next, 165% damage, decreases CT by 15 times for the target, so it's a direct slow. It's not putting slow the debuff on them, it's just taking them where they are on the turn list and dropping them a little bit. So it's still really useful, and it increases his agility by 25% for himself. Note a couple things about this. If he uses that, like, you can only have one agility buff on you, so it will stack with his passive, but it won't stack with other agility buffs that he gets during the fight. So just keep that in mind. But that move's really good. It also upgrades to do 200% damage, costs 4 less AP, and the rest of it is the same. So really good move, and it's upgradable. Then his EX move, the skill level 125 move, is a defense down attack on the target that does 165% damage. Really nice. This is where he's kind of Auronnj-like, because Auronnj has a lot of moves in this kind of vein of thing. And so Tidus having a defense down hit, I like that a lot. I like that a lot. I'm going to take a drink. Ooh, and thank you, Valroast Yuli, for the sub. Appreciate that. Way to get it on the video. Okay. Next up, let's look at the rest of his skills. His main job, sub-skills. He has 2 attacks on here. One of them is 175% chance, or 175% hit attack with a 50% chance to inflict sleep for 3 turns when he crits. So again, crit build only would you use this. Then he has a move where he jumps to somebody's face, increases his critical damage by 30, and does 165% damage. Again, if you have, I'm going to get in your face and crit your head off, Tidus, these 2 moves might be something you run. Otherwise, I think you look to his Paladin subjob. Within his Paladin subjob is where he's going to get his tankiness, his bruiseriness, and his ability to generate aggro. So, to start, he just has Taunting Blade. We all know what Taunting Blade is by now. Very expensive, but does 200% damage in an AoE and gives him 12 hate. If you're running Tank Tidus, you got to figure out how to get him to use this ability. So it does a lot of damage, so it's not the hardest thing to get him to use. Next, he has the basic Paladin skills here, right? Sentinel, he has the 50% physical damage shield. He has the HP buff that he can cast on his allies. You're probably turning that off because his other buffs from his main job are so good. Then he has a self-only HP buff, or a self-only HP heal, you know, the one that Paladins have, and he has Stunning Blade. So you want to run Paladin for Sentinel, for Taunting Blade, and for the shield. Really good subjob, probably the one people run the most, unless you're going crazy crit Tidus, which is going to be awesome. I promise you I will run at least one showcase video of crazy crit Tidus. Maybe like him and Winter Ramada, and just go slashing penetration and just go nuts. Alright. Last up for skills. He has Samurai subjob. I mean, maybe if you're going evasion and you need that evasion buff, that's where you'd go for this one. Otherwise, it just has some moves that are not as good as his other moves. And then his limit break is interesting because it doesn't inflict any status effects or have any special things. It's just 4 hit. So very useful in PvE situations, right? Where you're wanting to hit a raid boss for, you know, build those chains. He's got a 4 hit attack. Really good, and it's 43 AP, which is pretty reasonable for a limit break. Besides this, you might use a Samurai sub for PvE if you're fighting a machine or a stone type boss, because he has the machine and stone killer attack. Okay, that's it for skills. Let's look to builds. Like, what kind of stuff are you going to put on Tidus when you get him? He's another cloth wearer, unfortunately. All 3 units from this anniversary are cloth armor wearing units, so no plate armor for these guys. You're going to look for like plat robes, elven cloaks. You could use like Rain's TMR if you're looking to find some more, allow him to not get one shot by like Little Leela or Yuna or something like that. So that's the kind of stuff there, right? Whatever kind of defense stat you have that is cloth. Now his sword is an interesting sword. I think it's probably only really good for him, but I think it is really good for him. It has, at level 50, you do not have to +5 this thing. It's sort of like Agrius's event sword, if you remember that, where you just level it up, and by doing that, you get all the stats. So that's really cool. You take this thing to level 50, you get 36 HP, 153 attack, which is pretty good, 43 magic, 8 accuracy, okay, and 16 crit. That crit is important. If you're going crit, Tidus, you need crit. Then the effects on it are slash attack +8 and water attack +8. So it's not on that level of like Auronnj sword where you're getting 30 elemental attack and 15 slash attack, but you got a +5 Auronnj sword. This thing is easy to get to max, and you're getting the equivalent of 16 attack up if you combine the slash attack and the water attack, which is better than the 15 slash attack on just a regular +5 sword. So it is a good sword for Tidus, but maybe only Tidus. Accessories, he can actually equip Uldoa's apron, so there's some more defense pin. If you want to go like crazy crit kill the world Tidus, Uldoa's apron might be your way to go. He can also use the water ring because he's a water unit, and then you just use, if you don't want to use those, use an agility accessory from like a TMR or Hermes sandals or something like that. And yeah, let's look at some more interesting stuff for him because he gets unique things from this event. He is clearly the main character of Final Fantasy X, and they're treating him as such. Real quick though, espers, tanky espers or slash attack up espers with the resist you're looking to run. That's the way you're going to go here. Yeah, that's pretty self-explanatory, but the cards are interesting. Tidus is essentially getting 2 vision cards from this collaboration. Awesome. I don't know how we're going to level them. I don't know if it's going to be easy, hard, if we're going to have guaranteeds, whatever. But we are going to look at them. First, we're going to look at the one with just a picture of him standing in the water, right? His card. This is an MR card, so it will be easier to level than a UR card. It gives 167 HP, 97 attack, 78 magic, and 20 luck. Okay, the unit effect. Water units only are going to get 12% agility. Nice. That's okay, so you're going fast Tidus. He's faster now. Party effects, if you're water unit, you're going to get missile resistance +15% and dexterity +11%. Okay, so if you're running Tidus as some kind of like anti-missile build, this might be the way to go. It's going to help him get to those missile units faster, and it's going to help him resist their damage. Now, unfortunately for Tidus, 2 of the best missile units in the game are lightning element, so missile resist Tidus doesn't seem like the best thing in the world to me. Because Frederica and Nivelu exist, but okay. And then for water element allies, you're going to get accuracy +18. This is a good vision card. It is also very good on Tidus. It might be better on other units, but if they give us this for free and it's easy to level up, and you don't already have like missile resist vision cards, it's worth doing. This is a good card. It's just not UR powerful, I think. Speaking though of UR powerful, let's look at his UR vision card here. I'm not going to try and say the name because I will butcher it, but it's the Tidus and Yuna are in love card. I'll just say it like that. So, maximum level, this thing's going to give 364 health, 156 attack, and 40 dex. Dex is going to help you crit. Tidus is going to like that dex. Unit effect. If you're a water unit, you get attack +30%. Okay, cool. 30% attack. I like that. Party effects. Slash attack up 35 and critical hit rate up 13. Okay, this is the crit card for Tidus. Then if you're water units and you've maxed this card, you get 25% HP buff. Great card. Super great card, especially for mono water. If you're running that like Tidus Winter Ramada crit your face off team I was talking about earlier, you slap this card on Tidus. You slap Exorcist card on Christmas Ramada. I know we're talking about 2 limited cards and 2 limited units here. This is really niche, but those 2 will just start ripping people apart with those 2 vision cards and that like combination. Then throw another unit in there to tank for him or something. This card is very powerful. However, again, this is for crit Tidus, in my opinion. Get it if it's easy. Level it if they're giving us a bunch of shards for it. If not, I don't know that it's game changing. Unless you just want to run crazy crit your face off Tidus, then you probably need this. Okay, cool. That's what I've got for builds. Now let's talk about if it's worth building Tidus, and if I'm going to build them, if you should build them, the normal stuff. Okay, that's the video. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you all are just as excited for Tidus as I am. There are a lot of cool things you can do with this dude, and he's bringing a lot of unique stuff to the game, which I'm super excited for. So let me know in the comments how excited you are for him, or if you think that crit build in particular is going to be really useful, because I see some like 9,000 damage crit Tidus running around just eating eating some people up. So if you need some Amazon coins for this event, please do use my Amazon coin affiliate link. Helps me out a ton. If you want to like check out my polls, I will be polling live on stream at twitch.tv/Auronnj on Wednesday. So be ready to check that out. And yeah, thank y'all for watching. I'll see y'all in the next video. Good luck on your Final Fantasy X polls. See you later.